your secret friend.
Underneath the bridge,
Who?
topper sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped
Haven't a clue.
all become my pet.
Let's play a game. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
You're becoming quite a celebrity. Why is he writing to you?
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
Whoa! This guy's crazy!
You're a part of this too. How am I part of it? You'll see.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another DC Fandome video. Doing about 8 of these, I think, for various things that we got announced during Saturday's DC Fandome event. And for this video, it's all about my boy. It's all about Bruce Wayne. It's all about I'm Batman. And we are talking about Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, and the Batman movie. I was kind of worried watching it because if you didn't watch DC Fandome, maybe you haven't, that's why you're checking out this video. You're like, Ricky, let me know what went down. I didn't watch it. But they were just talking to director Matt Reeves, and he was given a lot of good information about the movie, about what it could be about, what they're doing with it. But the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, please show me something. Please show me something. Please show me something. You can't come to DC Fandome and not show me something. And he even said at the end, he goes, well, I know how this works. I've been to Comic-Con. You don't come to one of these without showing something. And you saw it at the beginning of this video. They pieced together a trailer. He even mentioned they've only recorded or only filmed about 25% of their entire film. So they had to come up with a trailer from that 25%. And whoo-wee, do we got a lot to kind of unpack with this one. And it's kind of at a point of like, where do I start? And the point I'm going to start with is not the first thing we saw in the trailer, but it's Robert Pattinson, because he's Batman. The film is called The Batman. It's about Batman. It was a big deal when Robert Pattinson was kind of cast as the role of Bruce Wayne and Batman. So we're going to start with him. We get our first look at Robert Pattinson. Like, we saw a look at Robert Pattinson in the suit when they did the whole, I think it was a Comic-Con reveal where we saw the emblem on the chest. We kind of saw what he would look like in the suit. But it's a little different actually seeing him in a trailer moving around as Batman. We kind of saw the first time was when Commissioner Gordon was like, does this mean anything to you? And he goes to hand him the kind of riddle from the Riddler. We'll get to him in a second. But then we kind of see Batman there. We get to see him actually throw a punch. And the thing that Matt Reeves said before they showed the clip that kind of, I'm glad he said, because it kind of sets us up for what kind of a Batman we're going to see, is he said, this is Batman year 2. This is his second year into being Batman. So he's still learning the ropes in a sense. And the one thing that he said that really kind of stuck out to me was he goes, this is Batman's year 2 as Batman. So he's not the image of hope yet. People are scared of him in Gotham. And that was like, okay, so he's not going to be, in my mind, I was like, he's not going to be like Batfleck, where Batfleck was branding people and killing people. And I'll be honest, that version of Batman kind of didn't gel with me, because I know the comic book code has been broken recently. Like, the comic book code might not even be a thing anymore. But the way I grew up, and this isn't like, oh, back in my day, Batman used to do this, but the one thing I've always liked about Batman, and not just like, the one thing that to me was always quintessential to Batman was he didn't kill. He did not kill. That was the one line that he would not cross. And I know that you get that from the animated series, and it's like, well, of course they're going to have that in an animated series because that's kind of catered for kids. So you're not going to have your guy kill in a kid's TV cartoon. But to me, even as I gotten older, like, that's Batman. Batman will beat the shit out of you. You might be feeling like you're this close to death, but he ain't going to kill you. He will not kill you. We've even seen it in different Batman kind of films. I can't remember the exact name, but it was the one that had, it had Lucius's son as Batwing, I want to say his name was. Batman was going to kill someone. He said, dude, this ain't you. This is not you. Remember who you are. And that I liked with this, where it's like, we get a violent Batman in the scene where the little thug goes, who the hell are you? And then he just beats the crap out of him. Like, it started out normal Batman beat him up, and then even when he was on the ground, just boom, boom, boom. It fits into what Matt Reeves said. He's learning. He might be a little bit more violent than what we're used to Batman being, because he's only year 2 on the job. And if people are scared of him, that's why. Because of the things they might hear, the things they might see are like, holy shit, he's out there brutalizing people. He's a vigilante, and he might not be the symbol of hope that he was in The Dark Knight before Harvey Dent was killed, and then the whole ending of that happened. But I don't know, it gelled with me because it all goes back down to that thing of like, he's getting close to the line, but he hasn't crossed it. That's the difference with the Batfleck. The other difference you may notice is his Batman, Robert Pattinson's, to Christian Bale's, where we actually get to hear the Batman voice, where after he beats him up, he goes, I'm vengeance. And is it a deeper voice than Robert Pattinson's? Yes. It sounds like he's trying to go in the same vein that Christian Bale did. However, when I heard this and he goes, I'm vengeance, it didn't sound as crazy as when Christian Bale was like, I'm Batman. Where is she? It didn't sound like that to me. So already with the Robert Pattinson Batman, I've bought in. He looks great in the suit. I'm loving what they're setting up for me with him as a character, and the voice as Batman. I'm like, okay, not too over the top. I'm good with this. The other great thing that I have to mention with this, I could be wrong, but the kind of British voice that we hear over the top, we get to hear Andy Serkis finally as Alfred. This was one where when they announced the casting on the Rick and Johnny podcast, when Johnny and I did that, I was like, okay, I'm confident in Andy Serkis because he's an amazing fucking actor. But he's not the first one I would think of when I think of Alfred. But think of this. If this is Batman year 2, this might be a younger Alfred. Alfred's not completely all white up top. He's a younger Alfred. And number 2, just hearing him talk like he's talking to Bruce. Just the voice alone and how he delivered the lines, I was just like, chef's kiss. Like, this is the perfect casting for Alfred that they could have done. So happy with Pattinson as Batman, happy with Andy Serkis. Now let's get to some of the villains, because we did see villains in this. The first one I'm going to mention is the Penguin was here. You might have missed him. I missed him at first. I had to do a little bit of a deep dive, a little bit of a research of like, all right, who all showed up in the trailer. And Colin Farrell, his Penguin did show up. There was an image of him. I'll put it up there on the screen of him standing in the rain. And like, after I saw that, like after I read that, hey, that was Colin Farrell's Penguin, I was like, holy shit, that doesn't even look like Colin Farrell. He was also in the car when they were doing the car chase, and he was like, this guy's crazy. That's Colin Farrell's Penguin. So we get to see a look at that. Yet again, newer Penguin. He's not the old Penguin. Apparently, he still hates people calling him Penguin, but the Penguin that I remember never really liked it, because he kind of saw it as a jab in a way. To me, it was just one of those things where it didn't look bad, but I'm not used to Colin Farrell looking like that, and B, I'm not used to the Penguin. It kind of looked a little bit muscular in the face, to where I'm like, I'm going to give it time. I'm going to let that one sit on the side and let it simmer. And then the big one, the Riddler. The guy at the beginning that we see in the trailer with the duct tape and the kind of like the goggles on and kind of like the green trash bag over the face, that looks like this is going to be Paul Dano's Riddler. And I know they've said in the past that Matt Reeves and Dano said this is going to be a Riddler like we've never seen before. And like, if you think of all the Riddler incarnations that we've seen, the Adam West one was campy, but that fit the Adam West show. Even the animated series, the kind of the ball hat, the tuxedo, the cane, that's kind of the quintessential Riddler to me. Even Jim Carrey's Riddler, the skin tight suit, the craziness of Jim Carrey is what we're used to. We're used to the Riddler being kind of a crazy character. We're probably the only one where he was not crazy and wacky was the animated series, and even the Arkham series, I would say, because they kind of drew off of that in my sense, where it looks like they are going to, for me, they are giving the Riddler a different look that we have never seen. But to me, it reminded me a lot of the Riddler from the animated series, where the Riddler is going to be playing mind games with Batman. This is a new Batman too, so very easy for the Riddler to kind of mess with Batman's mind here, kind of get him to kind of think and kind of question things in his early career as he develops into the symbol of hope for Gotham and into the hero he will eventually become. I don't know how I feel. I'll be completely honest. I don't know how I feel about the look of the Riddler. If this is the Riddler, we could all be wrong and it could not be the Riddler. But if this is the Riddler, I wonder, is he going to morph into a different look that we're used to? Is this going to be the look that we see for the Riddler? Because to me, when I first saw it, like, I didn't think Riddler. I thought Hush. Especially the way with like masking up the face, and like Hush would fuck with people's faces. Of course, he was trying to piece together the perfect face to be a Bruce Wayne clone, in a sense, and make his own face look like Bruce's. But after watching the trailer time and time again, as I have since they released it, it doesn't make sense for it to be Hush, because why would he put no more lies on the face? Why would that tie into the Riddler card? Like, this is going to be the new Riddler. I'm just, right now, it's not that I hate it. It's just, I'm not okay with it yet, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know how it sits with me. However, Paul Dano's voice as the Riddler, I absolutely loved in this. That's the part I love. I feel like Dano Because going in, I didn't know a lot about Dano's work, and I didn't watch Paul Dano in a lot of his movies. So when Johnny and I talked about it, I was like, oh, well, I don't know how he's going to get across the Riddler. And hearing him, and one of the lines I have here quoted, he goes, "If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?" And this is kind of to me thinking, all right, is the Riddler going to put a bounty out on Batman? Is the Riddler going to be the main villain of this? We get other ones in there. Selena Kyle also's in this, but I'm leaving her with the Penguin, where it's like, she looks good. We've seen her before. She looks like Catwoman, like an early Catwoman. But I don't have a strong opinion either way yet. I like what I see, but I'm going to leave her to the side like the Penguin until we see more of it. The Riddler, though, I love the voice. I'm questioning the look right now, but I'm not going to say I hate it and go into that camp. Also, at the end, there was a quote that said, basically, "You're part of this too." And then we hear Robert Pattinson's Batman go, "How am I part of this?" And it goes, "You'll see." And I couldn't tell. Maybe someone else out there is a better voice recognizer than me. Maybe that's still Paul Dano, and it just sounded a little different. But to me, I was like, okay, is that still Paul Dano's Riddler? Is that somebody else? Is there a different villain in this that we haven't kind of gone to yet? So those are kind of my thoughts on this. Kind of checking them off. Batman, Alfred, Selena Kyle looked good. Can't wait to see more of, I think it's Zoe Kravitz, who is playing Selena Kyle and Catwoman in this one. Colin Farrell, holy shit, didn't even recognize your big guy as the big guy, the Penguin. And then we got to look at Paul Dano's Riddler. So this is where you guys come in. Let me know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out patreon.com/MVPvids. That is how you help support the channel. Make sure we can keep coming out with these videos for you like we love to do each and every day. I'm going to have several more DC Fandome videos, so make sure you look out for those here on MVP Entertainment. And as always, have a good day, everybody.